From the grounds of Williamstown High School in Williamstown, New Jersey, Comcast Sports presents American Legion Baseball. Today, Williamstown hosts Brooklawn. Hello again, everyone. Rob Christ along with my partner, Marc Narducci. A hot summer afternoon. Speaking of hot, we see a Brooklawn team that is red hot year in and year out. The pride of South Jersey American Legion Baseball. This year, no different, coming off a big victory over Gibbsboro, clinching the regular season title.
Yeah, in the Camden County League, 20-0, Rob. What else is new? Brooklawn's been a dominant figure for over 5 decades, 2 world championships, 12 regional appearances, and again, a state title contender once again this year.
For the opposition, the host team, Williamstown, started off red hot, and now coming in, it's getting tight. They're needing to win this game in order to stay in the thick of the playoffs.
Yeah, Williamstown's tied for 5th place. The first 4 teams in this Camden County League get automatic byes. So Williamstown, with 3 games left, needs to win them all, but they're going to be pitching by committee tonight because they have a doubleheader Saturday against Gloucester Township.
We'll expand on that more as the game progresses. Stick around. We'll have the first pitch for you in just a moment. Welcome back. Mike steps in. Pitch misses outside. On the hill for Williamstown. Again, we talked a little bit about this idea of pitching by committee, and Freeze delivers for a strike. Again, facing Mike Gartland, the leadoff man and your center fielder for Brooklawn. Works the count, 3 balls. Gartland, a good leadoff man, not surprisingly for this potent offense of Brooklawn. And he draws the walk.
Of course, Gartland played for Gloucester Catholic, where he scored 35 runs this year in the high school season. A lot of these Brooklawn players we'll see play for Gloucester Catholic.
He has drawn now 14 walks on the season and just 43 at bats. So it gives you an idea of what he does for this lineup. Gartland coming into the game with a .475 on base percentage. First pitch is inside to George Spingler. Gartland always a threat to steal. Not surprisingly, out of the leadoff position. And there he goes. Throw down to second base. Skips through into center field, but Gartland will stay right there as the shortstop, backing up nicely. Lang holds Gartland to second base after the stolen base. So again, an RBI opportunity here for Spingler.
Of course, Freeze is probably only going to go 1 inning, as we mentioned in the open, Rob, because Williamstown has a doubleheader with Gloucester Township, and actually it's almost as if they might concede this one to Brooklawn.
The bunt down to first base, and just in time. The sacrifice successful. Over to third base, it's Gartland. Now they roll him safe.
And here comes a guy, as you see the lineup there for Gloucester Catholic, Rob.
Gartland, Spingler, Bruno, DJ Robinson, Matt Umba, Andre Frias, Nick Alloway, Bill Donovan, and Nick Core.
This might be the best player in New Jersey we're seeing at the plate right now, Steve Bruno. This summer, 12 home runs, 48 RBIs.
From the stretch, Freeze. Bruno fouls it away. Brooklawn yesterday defeated Gibbsboro. It was a game that was stopped due to rain some time ago. They were trailing 3-1, quickly went up 4-3. Gibbsboro tied it, and late in the game, Brooklawn wins and clinches.
Rob, Bruno has made a verbal commitment already, even though he has another year at Gloucester Catholic, to attend the University of Virginia. There are a lot of people that think he's going to get drafted. The only knock against him, and it's not his fault, they say, is his size, the scouts say. But he can hit for power, he can run, he can just do everything. And Dennis Barth, who along with his father, Joe Barth Sr., now in his 57th year as Brooklawn manager, Dennis, working with the team, said he's one of the best players he's ever coached.
And that's something that Bruno really likes to do. He likes to draw the hit-by pitch and sets up the 4-hole hitter, Robinson. Bruno with his 12th hit-by pitch of the season. Here comes big DJ Robinson.
The other thing is, Freeze is expected to go against Gloucester Township on Saturday. So this being a Thursday of this game, as I said, I don't think he's going to pitch more than one inning.
DJ Robinson steps in with a haughty .467 batting average.
Another Gloucester Catholic player.
Pitch misses outside. It's 2-0.
Rob, as we said, Gibbsboro and Williamstown are both 13-7-1, but Williamstown has the tougher final 3 games. There's no question about that. Umpires today, Bob Mitchell on the bases, John Olgello behind the plate. 2 veteran umpires in South Jersey.
John's been around for some time. He's one of the better ones, you'll see. Always knew I was going to have a well-umped game when he was around. Line drive over to third base and able to double him up. Maybe a triple play. Triple play! McCarty to Stola to Sprangle. 5-4-3 triple play. Just what the doctor ordered for Williamstown.
Rob, that might be all the years the first triple play I've seen, either in Legion or high school ball.
Well,
wait,
that's the first I think we've had on television.
McCarty, I think the Brooklawn players were wondering if he actually, caught that in the air. It was so low, but he did, and he had the presence of mind to just go around the horn.
Stan Ritter, our director, kind of confirming at least my time doing games here. That's the first triple play we've seen. Obviously a rarity. And stepping on the hill, again, another accomplished player. Not surprisingly, you could say that pretty much about anybody in this Brooklawn lineup, and that's the pitcher, Mike Eliason.
Yeah, the thing is, though, Rob, he's coming back he has not pitched a whole lot this summer. He's had some arm trouble, so they're really trying to get him back and get ready for the district tournament coming up. He's only pitched 11 innings all summer and had a great career at Gloucester Catholic, and he's headed to Fairleigh Dickinson on a baseball scholarship. So he's going to be a very, very vital member during the postseason for this Brooklawn team. So a night like tonight, if they could get 4 to 5 innings from him and kind of boost his pitch total, which they've been trying to do, it's going to be very key.
And conversely for Williamstown, back on the ropes with the ever-potent DJ Robinson, and bases loaded, nobody out. It looked like Williamstown was up against it. You mentioned before they were going to have to pitch by committee, and quickly turning a triple play. They'll want to establish a lead here early against Eliason.
Well, in high school, he was one of the better pitchers in South Jersey. Pitched 58 innings, Rob, at 5-3 with a 2.41 ERA for the Rams. So, again, there are a lot of people that think that this Brooklawn team, they have a lot of good young pitching and veterans, a nice mix. They can make a real run for it. That's not exactly going out on a limb, because they do it just about every season.
Stepping in, Tom Macaluso, the left fielder, and he takes high for a ball, 1-0.
He's hitting close to 400 for them, and he's been a real good table setter. One interesting thing about this, Rob, every player on this Williamstown team played for Williamstown High School. A lot of these Legion teams get players from a number of high schools, and so to do what Williamstown has done this summer in Legion, I think is amazing.
That speaks volumes about what Williamstown was capable of doing during the regular season, and again, they have a lot to look forward to in 2009 as well.
Yeah, a lot of young players. Macaluso's graduating. He's graduated from Williamstown. He's going to Penn State and maybe try to walk on there.
It's no easy task.
Of course, Williamstown in the high school season won the Tri-County Royal Division.
Macaluso draws a walk. So each team getting their leadoff man on. And Nick Stola will step in. There you see the Williamstown batting order. Stola will be followed by Porter, Sprangel, Lang, McCarty, who started that triple play, Sutton, Gordon, and your pitcher.
And you know, McCarty's father is the manager of this team, but could not make the game tonight because of a business trip in Texas. Can you imagine that? I think he'll enjoy watching this on TV, seeing his son start a triple play.
Absolutely. Williamstown started this Legion season red hot and have cooled down of late, but obviously an opportunity to go to the postseason and continue their fine season.
Well, a couple of their top pitchers, Matt Barr, who can play the field, but he can't pitch. Tonight, Chris Roth, another one of their pitchers, is not here. He's sick, so they've had either the sick bug or the injury bug, and that's depleted what hadn't been a deep lineup to begin with.
Stolen misses high and tight.
I think they want Eliason to throw some strikes if you're Williamstown. I think you're going to take some pitches. Pretty good pickoff move there at first.
And as you mentioned, Brooklawn at this point undefeated, playing with the house money, if you will. Skied into shallow center field, and coming on to take it is the center fielder.
Wow.
And Gartland takes it easily.
It's a pretty tough son you're fighting in that center field. You know, you talk about house money, but people know over the years for Brooklawn, whether it's an exhibition, whether it's a game that doesn't really matter standings-wise, they always play to win. In fact, the regular season ends on Saturday in the Camden County League, and as we've explained before, even though it's a Camden County League, as the runner goes. Wow, Macaluso had a great jump that time. But even though it's called the Camden County League, it has teams from Burlington and Gloucester County, obviously Williamstown and Gloucester County School. So the season ends, Rob, on Saturday. What's Brooklawn doing Sunday? They're playing a doubleheader in Delaware against one of Delaware's best teams, Stallpost.
Low at the knees, and a good pitch by Eliason, getting quickly ahead of the three-hole hitter Porter. Well, Brooklawn would like nothing more than to finish this regular season undefeated, so these games do have a level of importance that they might otherwise not have, given the fact that that's heady stuff, finishing undefeated.
I'll tell you, Macaluso getting a huge lead, and Eliason has a good move over the first base, but Macaluso really getting out there.
Bruno DeFrias over to first base in plenty of time. 6-4-3, just what the doctor ordered, and through 1 inning. We are scoreless at Williamstown High School. Welcome back to Williamstown. Hot, sticky summer afternoon. Approaching nightfall, Brooklawn and Williamstown at American Legion Baseball, and we're in the second inning. It was an eventful first inning. Brooklawn loading the bases, and then DJ Robinson lined into a triple play. Matt Umba will lead things off here for the Brookers.
Of course, Matt's one of the veterans on this team. Going to be a sophomore at Wilmington College. Another Gloucester Catholic alum.
Wilmington, a Group 2 school, of course, out of Delaware. And you had mentioned that Chris Fries may not go beyond 1. He's on the hill once again. So we'll see how long they stick with him. I would think, Mark, that had they scored off of him, they would be more apt to have taken him out early, but they're still in the ball game against this vaunted Brooklawn lineup. Next pitch to Umba, misses high and inside. Umba, Frias, and Alloway. So Freeze misses high. It's 2-1.
Rob, you were talking about him going more than 1 inning. I'd be surprised if he goes more than this right now, especially if he's going to be pitching in 2 days.
He's probably on a very strict pitch count. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So Freeze, the deceptive fastball, blows it by Umba. 1 down here in the second.
He was 2-0 in high school, Freeze was. 3-2 this summer.
Frias will step in, takes for a strike.
It's interesting with the way Legion rules have changed recently. You can get players from a lot of other places now if they get releases. Frias played for Pennsauken High School. Brooklawn has players besides from Gloucester Catholic, Gateway. We mentioned Pennsauken.
Well, Pennsauken is traditionally made up of strictly Bishop Eustace players, so each year the Pennsauken high school kids are left to go wanting. And in the past few years, they have had some considerable talent come out of the Pennsauken high school. Hard hit ball, the shortstop Lang picks it up and throws down to first in time to retire Frias, and 2 down for Nick Alloway. Alloway, a Gateway product. Their top talent on the hill with a 6-0 mark and a 0.81 earned run average coming into today at the plate.
The other thing is Brooklawn has 3 players that are playing on one of its younger teams. Cody and Casey Brown, twins, Rob Humes. They're all pitchers. They're going to be bringing those youngsters up in for the districts.
Lined into left center field and in the gap. Alloway rounding first base. They'll be in to second with a double. 2-out double for big Nick Alloway. Alloway with his 4th double on the season, his 12th extra base hit.
Well, Ron Gordon, who we've seen on the football field, the center fielder for Williamstown, did a pretty nice job covering some ground there and getting that. This was really in left field. Gordon got there and got it back there pretty quickly. Alloway had to really hustle to get in the second base.
Grounded to the shortstop, Lang off of his foot into left field. They're going to wave Alloway. It gets past Macaluso, and he'll be in. So the error allows Alloway to score. And Brooklawn on board with a 1-0 lead.
Get the look on that. I thought he was going one way, the ball the other. I'm not sure. You calling that an error?
That looked like it hit off his foot.
Ryan McFadden, the courtesy runner for Brooklawn.
So no RBI on the play because of the error. Alloway scores. Donovan replaced with a courtesy runner, and Nick Core will step in with a 278 record average. 20 runs scored and 12 RBI for the first baseman, or excuse me, the designated hitter.
Hit 354 in the high school season for Dennis Barth at Gloucester Catholic. Gloucester Catholic was one of the best 20-9 teams you'll see in South Jersey.
Fastball and a stolen base. Ryan McFadden, your pinch runner, stealing second base.
He just got an absolutely huge lead there. And it looked like Sutton behind the plate had trouble getting rid of the ball right away, and then that little bit of hesitation, and McFadden has good speed.
Bounding foul. Get a good look there at Nick Core. Very, very warm today, so it's going to be tough for any pitcher if he's in a long inning.
Now, some pitchers, Rob, actually like pitching in the warm weather. They feel they can get loose better. I don't know. But it does drain you. There's no question about it.
Umba started the inning with a strikeout, and Frias grounded out to shortstops. And there were 2 outs quickly in the second inning, but Alloway doubled. Donovan reached on an error, and Alloway came around to score. The pinch runner McFadden has stolen a base, and Core will step in here as Brooklawn leads 1-0 here at Williamstown High School. Rob Christ along with Marc Narducci, continuing coverage of your American Legion season here on Comcast. Fastball. This is low and away. May have been a slider.
And remember, the district playoffs start next weekend. The seeding meeting is Sunday, and Brooklawn will have to determine as the first place team in the league, as that's pulled foul. Well, to get the chance to determine what site it wants to go to, and as we said on previous broadcasts, the teams in the Camden County League have all decided not to go to similar sites, especially since only one team is going to come from each of the 8 districts to the state tournament. So the 6 Camden County League teams will be going to 6 different sites. West Deptford gets the automatic for hosting.
Curveball called strike 3. So freezes Core and works his way out of the jam, but not before Brooklawn scores off of the Nick Alloway double. And through 1.5, Brooklawn on top 1-0. You mentioned West Deptford hosting one of the sites, and of course we've had a couple games from there. If you want to expound on that, again in South Jersey. quite a few teams will go on to the postseason.
Right. Brooklawn, as we mentioned, the top 4 teams in the Camden County League get automatic byes, and then 5 through 8 will play for the 5th spot, and then West Deptford will get the 6th spot, the automatic. And Brooklawn and Haddon Heights they're already in, and in fact Heights is 17-4-1 in second, and Cherry Hill's 14-6-1, Gibbsboro 13-7-1, and Williamstown 13-7-1. So one of those 3 teams, Cherry Hill, Gibbsboro, or Williamstown, is going to have to play in that 5 through 8, and nobody wants to do that, Rob.
What's interesting is that Gibbsboro game record of 13-7-1. They tied Mullica Hill, who only has 1 game in which they did not lose, and that was that tie against Gibbsboro.
Wow.
And that game, in fact, the score was in question. The official score may have erred there, so to this date we're not entirely sure whether or not Mullica Hill was victorious or not, and that may come to be a big factor in whether or not Gibbsboro gets the number 4 seed.
Well, the other teams that it looks like are going to be playing for that 5 through 8 are going to be Tabernacle, Mount Laurel, and Washington Township, along with either Cherry Hill, Gibbsboro, or Williamstown. And I'll be honest with you, I would never want to play Dave Phillips' Washington Township team in an elimination situation. Very dangerous, a team that's used to going to the district tournament. So very important to end in the top 4 spots in this league, because you don't want to get into that single elimination playoff, which they hold over 2 nights.
Sprangel misses the high fastball. Sprangel, Lang, and McCarty 4, 5, and 6 to face Eliason here in the bottom half of the 2nd inning.
He's only going to be a junior at Williamstown, one of the good young players. He's been batting close to 400 as well, 395 coming into today, this summer for the Legion team.
And Eliason's fastball looks like it's picked up a few feet since the 1st inning. Much more life to it.
Yeah, for a guy that hasn't thrown a lot of innings, as we said, 11 coming in this summer, he's got life to the fastball. It's all about command, though, Rob, when you don't have a lot of innings, and there's a shot.
Sprangel throws his hands, and that fly deep, and that'll end up as a stand-up double, ground rule double. And it looked like Gartland struggled with the sun and just lost that at some point.
Boy, nice compact swing there. He gets his bearings near the fence. You're right. He just lost that. It was only a few feet away from him, and then it bounced over.
Well, the sun, in fairness to Gartland, is right in his eyes. So it is a tough sun. You mentioned that earlier when Brooklawn had some troubles in the 1st inning. So Sprangel, not necessarily the best swing on that ball. You mentioned his mechanics very strong, but just kind of threw his hands. And when it's as humid as it is today and as hot as it is today, Mark, the ball's going to travel. These aluminum bats have shown that the hotter it is, the more they work as a trampoline.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, they sell, Mark, a sleeve that you put in the microwave, and then you put it around your aluminum prior to hitting so that it serves as a trampoline.
all the more reason not to use aluminum bats.
You don't see that. You don't see guys putting their wood bat in the oven very often.
You know what that's called? A fire.
It's called a fire, or a fireplace. That's usually where they told me to put my bats when I played. And picked off at second base is Sprangel. So Eliason was really on 10 on undoing that double from Sprangel, and he did.
He's gone he went to second, I believe, 3 times. He went to first base in the 1st inning a number of times. We talked about his pickoff move. That's a disastrous mistake for Williamstown. There, get a look at it. You get the leadoff batter on.
And you see.
Yeah, his foot never got in there.
And again, that's part of the problem. Sprengel went in standing. You've got to get down, be it head first or foot first. Stepped on the toe of Frias, and he was cooked. Lang grounds sharply to Bruno. Bruno with time throws over to first base and retires Lang, 2 down. It's the first opportunity I've had to see Steve Bruno, and have heard so much about him. Obviously a fine offensive talent, but looking at him defensively also equally strong. And you know, you mentioned the Gloucester Catholic team with a season somewhat uncharacteristic. You know, that the complexion of that team changed entirely when Bruno came over from St. Joe's.
Right, and he had to sit out the 30 days in accordance to the NJSIAA transfer rules, and you're right, he made a big difference. Rob, I don't understand it. People keep saying, well, he's great, he can do this, but his size. There have been players that aren't big in the major leagues. I sometimes think that the major leagues make too big an issue of size.
Well, you know what? I agree with you. And it's not just baseball. I think it's every sport. People are just intoxicated with size. Show me a guy who can get it done, like Eliason does right here, striking out McCarty. Through 2 innings, Brooklawn on top 1-0. Welcome back to Williamstown High School. We start the 3rd inning. A new pitcher on the hill for Williamstown, Matt Smith. We mentioned before that Freeze would have a limited showing here, and that is the case. He trails 1-0. Smith steps in, and he will face this Brooklawn lineup. Hitters 1 through 3, Gartland, Spengler, and Bruno. Gartland worked a walk in the 1st inning, came around on a stolen base, but was retired via the triple play. And Smith's delivery. Fastball driven up the middle. Lang takes, throws over to first base in time, 1 down. That'll give me an opportunity to welcome a special guest here on Channel 5, Mike Lindner, long a staple of the broadcast team here, along with so many other great talents through Channel 5. And Mike, of course, we had an opportunity to work a couple times on CN8. It's great to have you here.
Super. I mean, it's nothing better than being retired and having a chance to go around and see baseball everywhere, and love this Legion baseball.
Well, Mike, you have a little stake in this team with a relative on the team, as your sons played for this Brooklawn team for many years.
Well, that was a lot of years ago, too. 84, 85, 88, and 89, and now making the trip back with grandsons. That tells you how old I am, doesn't it? Yeah, Rob Cressman from Pittman High School. My grandson is backup shortstop here and a pitcher for the club.
Lined over the first baseman's head. And Spengler will round first on his way to second base, and he'll be in with a stand-up double. Spengler here 2 for 2 early. And again, Brooklawn threatening.
Hey, Mike, you've seen this Brooklawn team a lot, and this gentleman coming to the plate, we talked about Steve Bruno. I know you're like everybody else. You're as high on him as everybody else is.
Well, I've seen a lot of baseball, as you can imagine, over the years at both the high school and the college level, and I like him as well as anybody I've seen in the maybe 35, 40 years that I've been watching the high school game in South Jersey. He just is fundamentally sound. You talk about tools, you talk about 5 tools, and I think he has it all. He hits with power, runs, he can field, and he's got a gun.
You know, Rob, Christ, and I were talking the previous inning that we think major leagues, and Rob said all sports, spend too much about size, worry too much about it, don't worry about what's in the player, the kind of determination, and the skill level.
Well, he's got a number of things going for him. One is that he doesn't have to look at a draft yet. He's got already committed to the University of Virginia. That program has really taken off in the last 5 years.
You know a little bit about that, too.
Absolutely, but again, a lot of years ago. But that program now has turned into a top 20 program. I can't believe he wouldn't be down there playing in that first year, second year at the latest. So he's got a lot of time to think about the future.
Of course, your sons played at the University of Virginia. You made a lot of trips down there and saw a lot of ACC baseball.
And we figured we did 25 trips a year for 9 years. We had one red shirt year in there, but we were so hooked on it, we kept going even in the red shirt year. That's a lot of miles, 250 miles each way. A lot of 11, 12 o'clock Sunday nights getting home.
Well, the University of Virginia has continued with their recruiting success. Of course, Doolittle, a first-round pick.
You know, he's out playing in, I think, California now. I'm not sure of that, but he, from what I gather, is going to win the Triple Crown in the league he's in right now, which not a bad start, is it?
Yeah, with the A's.
For a guy who they thought was going to be a pitcher.
Well, he did pitch at the college level and had success down there, but one of the very, very few times in college you'll see a guy that pitches who also then played every day when he wasn't pitching.
Well, I'll tell you, Mike, I saw him as a junior in high school strike out 23 in the Group 4 state championship.
That's not bad,
for Shawnee, right? That was one. That still remains the best pitching performance I've seen.
Well, he no-hit us at East. That's the only time as a coach
Really?
I've been the victim of a no-hitter.
Is that
He
right?
no-hit us. We lost, I think, 5-1. He struck out, I believe, 19 of 21 hitters as the ball gets through at second and third, and we finally worked a walk. We ended up stealing second, third, and home against him. It was the first run scored against Doolittle. He was so ticked off, he promptly came up to lead off the next inning and it hit a blast about 400 feet.
This young man, quite a ball player, too, has a lot of power. He's playing down at a junior college in North Carolina.
B.J. Robinson.
Yeah, he can hit the ball a ton. He's had some trouble, had a foot injury, ankle injury, and has been hobbled, not able to run like he normally does.
Another of the many Gloucester Catholic players that have played for this Brooklawn team.
Check swing. Smith checks over to third base and holds the runner, Spingler. So that's a big out as Robinson is retired 1-3, and that'll bring up Umba, who struck out in his first plate appearance.
Yeah, Gloucester Catholic been a pretty good base school for Brooklawn over the years, huh? Another one of the college players playing for them, Umbra, here at Wilmington College.
Now, our director, Stan Ritter, believes that the triple play turned in the first inning was the first ever here on Channel 5. Do you recall doing a game where you saw a triple play?
Listen, with Bob Shryock and me, by the time the triple play was over, we probably would have forgot what happened at first. Now, I don't remember when I was saying that when we were sitting down on the third base side watching. I said, I've got to believe that's got to be the first triple play. The question is, did they get it all?
Mike, how long did you and Bob work together? One of the classic tandems in cable television broadcasting. How long were you two together?
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
I figure it had to be 28 years.
Wow.
Something like that. Remember the first night we worked together was at Bridgeport doing stock car races. Are you ready for that? We were willing to do anything in those days.
Well, not much has changed though, right?
Went down there and did the opening down on the right near the track as the cars whizzed by. We thought it would really be an artistic opening. No one told us that they watered the track down, and as they came around in the middle of the opening, all I did was get full of mud.
Did Channel 5 pay for your clothes to get clean?
No.
Lined into right field, and underneath it is Porter. So once again, Williamstown dodges Brooklawn here. Brooklawn still with a 1-0 edge, and stick around, Mike. We have the bottom half of the inning. And again, Brooklawn coming into this game undefeated. Again, you have an opportunity to see this Brooklawn team far more often than Mark and I. What do you attribute the success of this Brooklawn team, specifically this year?
I'll tell you what, I think year in and year out what it is commitment and fundamental baseball as a result of the coaching that goes on. This is a team that if you want to play for Brooklawn, everybody's heard this story in South Jersey, I'm sure. You commit to it, there's no going to the shore. There's difficult to have a job, and if you don't have a day where you have a game, you got a day with a full practice, and it's difficult to find anybody at this level that's doing that day in and day out. The other thing is the Gloucester Catholic as the feeder school is the base school has really helped them because you get 5, 6, 7 guys that have played together for 2 or 3 years, and that's really got to be a benefit.
Although the other thing is, Mike, you get kids that go to Gloucester Catholic maybe saying because they like to play for Brooklawn and for the Gloucester Catholic program, so it goes hand in hand.
Yeah, of course, the number one reason is sitting down on the third base side tonight in full uniform. Joe Barth Sr., you know what year this is? Only his 57th year coaching. 28 state championships. I think been to the World Series 8 times, won it twice.
Been to the regionals 12 times.
Yep.
I saw the first time they won it in '91
up at Boyertown.
In Boyertown, yeah.
I was there.
Yeah, that was quite a thrill.
Can still see that last out in center field, and
I think
outfielder taking it. Remember who that was?
Kevin Kinane, I know, was out there, right? He was a left fielder, right?
Yep.
Tell me.
I'm trying to remember. I was hoping that you were going to know.
Come on.
I've got an excuse.
I remember Brett Laxton was a pitcher for that team.
Right.
And Scott Lavender, who tremendous right-hander.
Right.
Brett, of course, spent some time in the major leagues.
You remember his biggest game, of course, Laxton's?
The LSU game?
LSU.
Yeah, freshman year, right?
Freshman year in the World Series.
Sure.
18 strikeouts. Can you imagine that for a freshman?
LSU, for a place that isn't exactly near South Jersey, they got Brett Laxton, and Michael Kerner was on 2 national championships from Washington Township, and Tukey Johnson, right, from
That's
Shalit,
correct.
the infielder. So 3 guys really made a big impact from South Jersey and LSU.
Now, how many fathers and sons in South Jersey have made the majors? The Laxtons being the pair we're talking about right now. You should know all that, Mark. You're the historian.
I am not the historian, Mike. I'll defer to you on that.
I'm wondering. I'm
wondering if anybody else has done
it. Yeah. Bill Laxton, of course, played for a day or so shy of 5 years. Brett up and down, I guess, for I guess
Oakland,
he went up with
the
a pot of
Royals.
coffee as opposed to a cup of coffee. But I think teams all over South Jersey could do what Brooklawn has done if they had the commitment and
well, that's a big if,
one to
Mike.
dedicate to it.
That's a big if. Remember, unlike high school, these Legion coaches don't get paid for this.
No, they do not.
In fact, the bars have probably lost money over the years, and helping out the team and getting stuff together. So that, to me, that is true dedication. I mean, and as you said, 57 years for Joe Sr. And hey, he says that's what keeps him going.
If I remember the story right, it seems to me that at their first World Series, he got a phone call telling him that Helen Barth, his wife, had just delivered Dennis. And now Dennis is here pretty much running the show during the games. And, of course, Joe making the roster decisions and many other decisions. But can you imagine how many years you've been around? When Dennis, now the head coach at Gloucester Catholic, real successful there, and field manager here for Brooklawn.
And another UVA product, University of Virginia. There's been a pipeline from Brooklawn to UVA.
Bobby Revelle, you remember Bobby?
Absolutely.
Keith Kowalski.
Yeah, the Keith Kowalski, the great infielder.
Billy Narleski, great shortstop.
Whose father wasn't too bad, right?
Well, it's his uncle.
And that was his uncle? Was that his uncle?
Played Cleveland Indians pitcher.
Okay.
I'll tell you, that tells you how long ago that is. I actually got to bat against him years ago in the Atlantic County League when he was on his way back. Pitched for Folsom.
How about that?
Mike Becerra, great Triton player, played down there, right field. Super career.
Hey, by the way, this guy at the plate, Ron Gordon, one of the great football players in South Jersey. And Williamstown's going to have one of the top teams again. They won the conference not only in baseball but in football this year.
Fusatella doing a great job there.
Yeah. A lot of people say that Gordon reminds him a little bit of a guy. Do you remember Ron Dorsey, who played for Hamilton?
Yes.
Got drafted. Football was his main sport, but he really came on in baseball.
Eisen misses with the fastball. Gordon behind the count. Sutton worked the walk. He's on first base. There's nobody out here. Bottom of the 3rd inning. We're with Mike Lindner. A blast from the past here on Channel 5.
Mike, I remember doing a game with you in the Carpenter Cup at the Vet. which was probably one of the last games I did with you, I think.
You know, I'm trying to think back. I remember being up there. We worked a CN8 game there when they were first beginning.
Okay,
CN8.
okay.
John Anderson, director.
Sutton steals second base off of Donovan and Eliason. And quite a battery. Donovan, very impressive this year as a catcher. And he'll be going on to continue his collegiate baseball. Sorry,
He'll be
Mike.
playing at Rowan.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, Eliason on the mound will be at Farley Dickinson Teaneck, the Division I program.
Right, where I understand, Mike, they might have him do both, be a pitcher and play in the infield.
He can play a really super third base, and he hits a wonderful swing.
Of course, he's just getting, we were talking about, he's just getting back into it this summer. Had a little arm, only had 11 innings coming in. We're saying I was saying to Rob, his velocity looks good. I guess when you haven't had a lot of innings, you got to work on your command and everything, but his velocity looks good.
He opened the season against Washington Township and beat them. Then 1 or 2 games later comes sliding into home plate head first and jammed the shoulder, and they're not going to take any chances with him, and he's just getting back. And had his first 2 days of college experience, the last 2 days up at orientation. Farley Dickinson, to show you the dedication, hustled back yesterday afternoon, got it done at 3:30, was in the starting lineup here at 5:45. And I know he got no tickets. I'm sure didn't deserve one.
By the way, you know, you talk about the dedication. Before this game today, Brooklawn took batting practice at its field in Brooklawn, then came here for the game.
You were up there watching it, weren't you?
I was not.
No.
Grounded to first base, and Robinson will take out Smith unassisted. 2 outs on the play. Sutton will move over to third base, and Macaluso, who walked in the first, will step in.
You know, you get the feeling that Brooklawn's up by more than 1 run, but it's 1-0 here.
And you know,
have not capitalized on the chances.
And you know what that means in baseball. You know, anything can happen, right? All of a sudden, a key base hit or an error or two, and things turn around real fast. Williamstown's had a good year.
We were saying before, I think it's even more exceptional in the fact that they have no one else except from Williamstown High on this team. The last year they had a couple guys from Delsea and Timber Creek who they can draw from, but this year it's all Williamstown.
That'll pay dividends for the high school.
No question.
Curveball, strike 2. Macaluso tried to check his swing on that first pitch.
Mike, as they get to districts and they go to 9 innings, what do you think you need? About 8 or 9? You could use about 8 or 9 pitchers, right? I mean, when you...
Or you better win every game.
Yeah.
And get done quickly.
Fastball, foul back.
The old saw, it's the same for both teams, so theoretically it all evens out, right? I think you got to be 4 deep at least, or you got to get a lot of runs.
Fastball swung on and missed, and Macaluso is retired. So again, Eliason works his way out of trouble. And again, Mike, thank you for coming. We understand that you and Bob may come back again for the Woodbury-Paulsboro game.
A frightening thought, but I would look forward to it. That would really be great, actually, all kidding aside. Would look forward to doing that maybe once this coming fall. And in the meantime, good luck to both of you. Keep going. And Mark, I read you all the time. And Rob, I catch you on demand. See
Mike,
all the games.
good seeing you, really.
You too.
It's a pleasure. So we're through 3. We are at Williamstown with Brooklawn on top, 1-0. Again, a special thanks to Mike Lindner. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to Williamstown High School, top 4. A good one. Brooklawn on top, 1-0. At the beginning, it looked like it may have been a blowout as Brooklawn loaded the bases, but a triple play, the first here on Comcast. And it's been tight ever since. We start the 4th inning with Frias, Alloway, and Donovan. And this was the portion of the order that scored Brooklawn's run, Alloway doubling.
Hey, Rob, it was great talking to Mike Lindner, wasn't it? You talk about an encyclopedia of knowledge and a guy that just loves this game, man. I remember always talking to him when his sons, Michael and Steve, played for Virginia, how he loved going to those trips. As you see strike 3 there, the free is down to Virginia, and as he mentioned, for 9 years he did it.
Well, here you see Matt Smith just taking Frias right up the ladder, and he's been successful with the high heat. Frias knows that that was well out of the strike zone. Alloway, we talked about his pitching prowess. He's done it with the bat here, doubling and scoring back in the second inning. I mentioned on our last telecast that we had Alloway gunning at 92 early in the season when we scrimmaged Gateway at Eastern High School with the Jugs gun. The Jugs gun typically about 4 miles per hour faster than the ray gun that the professional scouts use. But, you know, typically, you know, with proper conditioning and mechanics, as kids or young men become men, I don't know how to characterize, but once you get into the early 20s, you're going to add 3 or 4 miles per hour to your fastball. So,
and not only that, this summer, Rob, he has 8 home runs for Brooklawn, 32 RBIs, and another hit right there.
So Alloway serves that into right field, and he's on. Mentioned that Alloway will have a workout with the Milwaukee Brewers.
As we had said last broadcast, of course, a guy that does some work for the Brewers, Joe Barth Jr., done some scouting, and
from what I understand, he wanted the Brewers to draft Alloway, but the cross-checker was unable to get over here in time. Skied into right field, and underneath it is Porter. So 2 outs here in the 4th.
Well, Rob, they have 50 rounds. You're telling me that you can't take a chance if...
Mark, let me tell you something. You mentioned before about size.
Yeah.
This is the same type of thing that we talk about. You know, in the late rounds, these are guys that, you know, I don't know. It's almost, I don't know. Obviously, they're talented players, but I'm in agreement with you. You know, if a scout tells you that this is a good opportunity to take a flyer on somebody, but, you know, again, whether it's the cross-checker has seen another guy or politics of it or what their needs may be, I don't know. Each organization works differently. Of course, August 15th
right.
is the big day.
They don't sign by then, they can't sign. You know what's interesting, Rob, is again, Alloway's going to go to second there. They're having all this problem now with the Dominican players and the people allegedly skimming money as far as getting the bonuses. I don't know why they don't get a worldwide draft. I don't.
You know, I don't think that Major League Baseball wants it.
Well,
I mean, again, Major League Baseball has an opportunity to sign kids lined into right field over the first baseman's head. And it's a foul ball. And missed by inches. But
yeah.
Again, Major League Baseball has an opportunity to take control of a kid at 16, 17 years old, which they don't have that opportunity. And I tell you right now, Mark, if they had the chance to draft kids out of high school as a sophomore or junior, Major League Baseball would jump at that opportunity. So they're not interested in changing the rules.
See, I disagree, because they're paying these kids. You know, one player just signed with the A's for a 16-year-old for $4 million.
Lined into left field. Alloway being waved home, now held up. The throw from left field picked by the shortstop. And runners on the corners. A 2-out rally here as Kaur and Alloway on the corners.
Nice job by Tom Macaluso in left field, getting that ball in very quickly, charging it.
So first and third, and Gartland will step in. He has walked and grounded out.
And I disagree. Major League Baseball would not want to take kids, sophomores out of college in the U.S. The political ramifications would be so great against them doing that I don't think that they would want to do that. I mean, I know what you're saying. You'd like to tie these youngsters up and everything, but
You're saying that they would not like to be able to draft sophomores?
right.
I can tell you, as someone that worked in baseball, that that I would have to disagree with you.
There would be such an uproar from the education community. I mean, there'd be a lot of.
Again, you
They
see that.
catch a lot
you
of
see that in
flack.
basketball.
Yeah,
Again,
but at least they get through high school, and now they have to go a year in college.
skied, and the second baseman Stola takes and retires Gartland. Well, again, from a political standpoint, as Brooklawn is retired scoreless here, we go to the bottom of the fourth, and Brooklawn on top 1-0. I don't disagree with that, but I'm saying if baseball had its druthers, that would be their preference. Now, I'm not sure whether what you're saying and I'm saying is different or not, but Major League Baseball would like, they have interest in drafting players as young as possible to develop them as young as possible, not only from the standpoint in their estimation of better coaching, but also in a specific way that they deem most appropriate for their organization.
I'll tell you, there's so many draft picks that they miss out on coming out as high school seniors. How many would that happen if they were sophomores? I mean, the failure rate I think would be astronomical.
Oh, there's no question about that.
That's an interesting subject to discuss.
Again, I don't think that.
That's probably what they're talking about on the phone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you like the draft?
I don't think that you're going to have too many people on the record say that would be something in their interest. But I'm telling you that Major League Baseball and most sports organizations firmly believe that the quicker they get their hands on an athlete, the more apt they are to develop.
Well, here's the thing, Rob. If they're doing all this great job developing them, why can't pitchers pitch more than 7 innings in the major leagues? I mean, you get a guy like Roy Halladay, and he's the exception that can throw a few complete games. I mean, why can't they do that if they're doing this great job developing these players and everything?
Ball skied into left field, deep towards the line, off the wall. The player trips over left field. Umba is down. He's coming back to retrieve the ball. They're going to wheel him home. There's going to be a play. Stola slides. Safe. One of the more extraordinary inside the park home runs. Nick Stola leads off the 4th inning with a home run.
And I'll tell you what, Bruno was probably a little too far away to really get him on that relay throw. This ball just kept carrying. It was like that other ball in the 1st inning that we saw there.
See, Umba gets caught up in the fence here, and now he has to climb back over the fence and retrieve the baseball. You see, he trips over the fence again. Doesn't get a whole lot on the throw as he just kind of slings it sidearm, and Bruno has to make a heck of a throw just offline. And I think if Umba had to do it over again, he'd get a little bit more on that relay. I think he was just frustrated with the fence, frankly.
By the way, I know it's a long way, but you never saw Gartland, the center fielder, there running over there. I didn't.
Well, again, in fairness,
it's a
that's
long way,
all the way down the left field line. So Porter will step in. He grounded into a double play his first time up, and a late swing fouls it down left field.
So we saw a triple play and an inside the park home run here.
Now we got to see a straight steal of home. Another rare occurrence. Anything else? I see the wheels turning. Fouled away. Now, you mentioned before, so why do pitchers not go further than 7 innings in the major leagues? This is my spin on it, Mark. It's all about money. There's such a concern of hurting an investment of $50 to $80 million that they typically will err on the side of caution.
Yeah, but not every investment is $80 million, and I don't know.
Fouled away by Porter.
Technology's better than it's ever been, yet pitchers are throwing less than they ever have.
I wish I could disagree with you, Mark. To further this discussion, I would agree with you entirely. I mean, you know, but now this is why you have a setup man, and that's the philosophy. Listen, why are we paying this guy $20 million to be a setup man and leaving this pitcher on the hill? Grounded to second base, high hop. This will be an easy play, and Porter is retired. You know, it's the same thing. The closer became fashionable, I guess, sometime in the late 70s or so, and now they're being paid extraordinarily well to close games. You know, there was much to do made of Brad Lidge the other night in the All-Star game having to warm up on 3 or 4 occasions.
The problem with that was, I think it was more like 6, and that was too much. I mean, come on, if you're the manager. And by the way, if Brad Lidge starts giving up runs, that's gonna Clint Hurdle's gonna be blamed.
Line to the first baseman, and Robinson takes, so 2 down now. Well, yeah, Hurdle will be blamed, just as you know, when Abreu hit all the home runs in the home run hitting contest a few years back, the home run hitting contest was blamed because he didn't hit as many in the second half. I mean, you know, whether that's the case or not, I don't know.
Didn't hurt Ryan Howard the year he was in it.
Exactly. And that's the same thing. And when Lidge, you know, goes 7 for his next 7 in save opportunities, no one's going to remember him warming up 6 times in the All-Star game. Curveball misses. We're knotted at 1. It's a good one. You know, you mentioned before, Mark, this may be pitching by committee. Well, Smith has come in, and after Freese started, they've done a nice job limiting this potent offense to 1 run.
I'd be surprised if Smith comes back out for the 5th inning. I mean, he's got to go in about 36 hours against Gloucester Township. I'll tell you what, if you're Williamstown, though, you're tempted because you're in this game, and this game is, to them, is just as important as Gloucester Township. I think they just feel they have a better shot to beat Gloucester Township.
Well, Lang pops out to end the 4th inning, but not before Williamstown ties it on a Nick Stola inside the park home run. 1 run on 1 hit, nobody left on base. Through 4, we're tied at 1. Welcome back to Williamstown. Brooklawn, Williamstown, knotted at 1, American Legion baseball action. And it will be Brooklawn who steps in.
A very interesting new pitcher, John Macaluso for Williamstown. He's really been like the closer for this team, Rob. And they had originally planned to bring in a couple guys that really haven't pitched this year just to get through it. But I think the fact that it's a tie game, Williamstown is realizing now in the 5th inning they're going for it here.
Macaluso drops to the side, and it's now 3-0. Spengler has been on board twice via a single and a double. Three and 1 to Spengler. Bruno and Robinson will follow. Number of changes for Williamstown. Grounded back to Macaluso. Throws over to first base in time to get Spengler. So a big out. And Bruno will step in. Bruno has been hit by a pitch and walked.
Rob, Bill McCartney moved from third to second. Matt Barr is coming to play third, and Matt's a kid that was pitching, but he's unable to pitch, but he can obviously bat and play the field. And Jacob Gallagher, number 25, is your new catcher for Williamstown.
Curveball for a strike. You know, not to take anything away from Williamstown, but Brooklawn may be suffering a little bit of a letdown after clinching in a big win last night. It was a game that they were trailing 3-1 that they had to restart because of a rain delay, and came back, and it was an exciting finish. And Brooklawn maintained not only their undefeated record, but also clinched the title.
Of course, Brooklawn, 20-0 in the league, has lost a couple times. Went up to that tournament in Utica. Remember Utica, New York? Lost one game to Haddon Heights up there, 11-1.
Macaluso's delivery fouled away. Bruno battling. Count holds at 2-2.
Bruno had just 37 at-bats for Gloucester Catholic. We talked about he had to sit out the 30 days after transferring from St. Joe Prep, but he still had 3 home runs and 15 RBIs in that time for the Rams. I think that he'll certainly be one of the top players in South Jersey. I think the kid at Millville, Rob Trout, infielder, pitcher, another one. He looked at very closely.
And Bruno, again, talked before about how he really revels on his hit by pitch total, or in his hit by pitch total, and so he has 2 more today.
13 this summer. That's Chase Utley like.
Ron Hunt.
Yeah, Ron Hunt. A lot of people playing for Brooklawn would not know who you're talking about.
Mike Lindner would.
Oh. Mike Lindner may have called some of Ron Hunt's games, for all we know.
This is low and away, 1-0. Jason Kendall, who now plays for Milwaukee. Another guy who prides himself on his hit-by-pitch totals.
By the way, the pitching coach for Brooklawn, and I haven't seen him in a while, is Barry Fennell. Remember the great pitcher from Holy Cross who was drafted in the 5th round by the Cubs in '94? Been invaluable. He's helped out as a pitching coach. It served as a pitching coach at Gloucester Catholic and here for Brooklawn.
He's got an interesting helmet on. He has a catcher's lid on.
Yeah, he's coaching over there first base.
I wouldn't be surprised, Mark, if that's a change that will come to high school next year. The mandate of coaches wearing helmets.
No question.
And I'm going to get that very model. Because Fennell, he wears it well. I don't know if I can pull it off quite as well as he can. You see most coaches sporting the flapless cap, if you will, on third base. We saw last time that Coach DeCastro forgot his, and they had to stop the game.
Well, Coach DeCastro hasn't forgotten a lot. He's done a great job over the years with that Haddon Heights Legion program. Been there since '85. We said a lot of dedicated coaches. That was ball 4. Yeah.
So no stolen base, but instead DJ Robinson walks his first time up, or excuse me, on base, and Matt Umba will step in. Umba has struck out and flat out.
Yeah, John Macaluso has not found his rhythm yet. Obviously, he's been behind all the hitters that he's faced, and can be tough with that sidearm delivery, but he's yet to get into a rhythm. Gallagher trying to calm him down. Gallagher, one of the veterans on this team. He's a graduating senior from Williamstown, headed to the University of Richmond.
Macaluso falls behind, 1-0.
Fourth straight batter, he started falling behind.
On deck is Frias.
I just think it's interesting. We talked about the dedication as most of the Legion teams will take a breather Sunday after a long regular season. Brooklawn will be playing a doubleheader in Delaware. And that stall post team that they're playing is a perennial state title contender. Now, there are not as many teams in Delaware. In fact, I think there are fewer teams in Delaware than there are in the 13-team Camden County League, as far as in Legion.
One and two now to Umba. Swung on and missed. Umba, a strikeout victim. So 2 outs, and Macaluso sees some light here.
Well, one thing you don't want to do is help Macaluso. That time, that ball out of the strike zone as well. As we said, he still has not found his rhythm, and helping him out that time by swinging a ball out of the strike zone.
Frias did just that back in the 4th inning, swinging at a high fastball. He was the first out of that inning. And Macaluso's first pitch misses in, and Macaluso wanted it, 1-0. On deck, Alloway. He's been nothing but trouble. He has doubled and scored and singled.
Boy, Bruno getting a big, big lead off second base.
Foul away. Count evens at 1. Macaluso, a side armor. Typically, side armors get a little bit of the sinking action on the ball, and you see a lot of strikeouts and or groundouts.
And he'll be coming back for his senior year at Williamstown. I don't think there's any question that after winning the Trico Royal this year, and with all Williamstown is coming back, that the Braves are going to be the favorite again next year. Nice job by Gallagher there, keeping that ball in front of him.
Be back, make an effort. Come on, back him up the back.
All right, Ken, now let's go. Go to work.
Hey, 2 outs. Let's get
2 and 1. Bruno at second base was hit by a pitch. Robinson at first walked. Good job by Gallagher.
And again, the 5th straight batter that Macaluso has gotten behind in the count. Now 3-1. Tom Frias, I really watched this pitch. Yep, there you go.
Bases are loaded and not a hit to show for it. And Nick Alloway steps in. You'd think that Macaluso would have challenged Frias, given Alloway the on-deck hitter's success thus far, but bases are loaded. There's 2 outs here. Critical point in the game. Top 5 were knotted at 1. Alloway doubled and scored in the 2nd inning, and he singled and was stranded at third base back in the 4th. One and 0.
One thing about Alloway, it is very, very hard to throw a fastball by him, especially Macaluso, who doesn't have overwhelming speed.
Popped up. Macaluso jams, and Macaluso takes it and drops it. Well, Macaluso did exactly what he wanted to do until it came time to field the ball. I think there was some indecision as to whether or not it was going to be Macaluso or Sprangel who fielded the ball, but another error results in Brooklawn's second run. So 2 unearned runs thus far. Brooklawn takes the lead. Donovan swings through the first offering of Macaluso, 0-1.
See, again, you're helping him. That ball was in the dirt almost, and Donovan swings at that, and as Macaluso had gotten behind on all the previous batters that he had faced.
Donovan reached base on the error from shortstop and flew out. 0-2. One and two. Nick Core on deck.
Pick your pitcher up in field. Come on.
Well, you would take that against Alloway. Great pitch. He jammed him there. Turned his head at the last second too, Rob. I almost made it look like he made a basket catch. It was actually a difficult way, the way his body was. Either way, it's a ball Macaluso will tell you he should get.
Probably will catch, 90 out of 100 times, if not more. 2-2 to Donovan. No place to put him with the bases loaded. Again, Brooklawn has yet to reach base via a hit this inning. Bruno scored. He reached on a hit by pitch. Frias and Robinson walked. Grounded sharply to second base. Bad hop over the second baseman and into right field. Well, this will score a pair of runs. You've got to rule that a base hit as it took a nasty hop. And Donovan with a pair of RBIs.
And all the runs, obviously, this inning unearned.
It's now 4-1 Brooklawn. Alloway over to third base.
This is one of those things, do you charge it, do you lay back? It's a tough decision by McCarty here at second base. And there's that hop that took right at the last second. He let it come to him that time and it went over. Not sure if there's anything he could have done, but
No,
would you have charged that?
No, because he played it into a nice long hop. And the fact that it was scorched by Donovan obviously, helped his cause.
Yeah.
It wasn't a ball that Dan Ugla could have caught, certainly.
Dan Ugla. It's funny. A lot of people are joking about Dan Ugla, but you forget that he had a bad game in the All-Star game. You had to make the team.
Yeah, that's right.
To have that bad game.
That was not a game for the ages. And now Macaluso throws it away. And that'll result in another run. And things becoming unglued. So after Donovan's RBI single off of the bad hop scored a pair of runs, they've now added another off of the errant pickoff throw from Macaluso. Alloway will come around to score his second run of the game. This game's had a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I'll tell you though, this is a game that obviously this inning, Williamstown has given these runs. I mean, credit Brooklawn for taking advantage of it, but
well, yeah, absolutely. The only hit this inning is off of a bad hop. And of course, all of these are unearned.
Outfield, next shoot 4. Go
Swung through, Core behind in the count. Mark, let me ask you this question. You're a guy that obviously has an extraordinary base of knowledge. I've always felt like if a pitcher makes an error,
it shouldn't be unearned.
Yes. Skied into center field. This will find the gap. This is way back. And this ball in for a double. Nick Core scorching one into right center field. RBI double. And Brooklawn extends their lead. They now lead 6-1. So what are your thoughts on that, Mark? I mean, typically you talk about earned run average. The only person it really affects is the pitcher. My philosophy is the earned run average is that you shouldn't be penalized for something you can't control. In that instance, you have control.
You do, but then the argument is, why is this rule different for you than for the other 8 people on the field?
Because again, the earned run average is, your statistic more or less. Lang throws over to first base, and finally, Williamstown is out of the inning, but not before Brooklawn bats around and scores 5 runs in the 5th. They lead 6-1.
Well, I could live with it the way it is, but it's one of those rules. If they changed it, that's fine. I would keep it the way it is, but if they changed it, I wouldn't get too upset.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you think about the DH? It's interesting that the National League is one of the only leagues that still has the DH. Are you a DH fan?
No.
Okay.
As a coach.
No, did I say that? Whatever. The National League's the only league that doesn't have the DH.
I know what you meant.
Right. Okay.
But the National League allows the pitcher to hit, and some people surmise that's why the All-Star game and intra-league play has gone the American League's way. But nonetheless, I'm a traditionalist. I think, as a coach, one of the great things about baseball is you could second-guess every single pitch. And, now all of a sudden you're taking away some of the dynamics of the team in terms of the strategy and also your bench.
Although there would be people that would argue and say, with such great strategy about pinch hitting for the pitcher, but I guess it's when you take them out of the game and et cetera.
Ask American League managers how much they like playing intra-league games when they have to make those decisions. They hate it because it's real easy to set up your best 9 and just let them go play.
But if fans like offense, then you're certainly going to get more offense with the designated hitter. Well, I mean, I think there are arguments both ways.
I mean, if you like offense, Mark, we talked about this before, you might as well go the way of college and bust out the aluminums. You'll see some offense.
I wouldn't go that far. I'll tell you what, if they used the aluminum bat in major leagues, you wouldn't get anyone that would pitch.
No. Well, they pay pretty well.
Yeah. They better pay pretty good insurance, too. The DH is a rule that I could take it or leave it, Rob. Again, I think good and bad for it. But these purists, these National League purists who think that that's the only way to go, I don't know.
Check swing, and McCarty held. Baseball for so many years was almost completely unchanged, and little by little you see it in the last few years with technology.
Well, here's the thing.
Changing the game, and our director talked about the discussion of instant replay, also
I think it's great.
The influence of maple bats now.
I think instant replay is great. The judge home runs, I think it's terrific. It's hard to see. I'll tell you what, Rob, I'll be honest with you, not that we'd have it in a Legion game, but in this field, I can't tell if a ball's a home run with that blue fence a lot of times here. And in the major leagues, there are a lot of times you can't. And sometimes, right, that call's the home plate umpire's call. I mean, how can you see the way these new ballparks are made? So I'm a big proponent for instant replay.
So your spin on this is instant replay exclusively for home runs, not for close plays on the bases.
No, just for home runs.
Ball hit deep into center field. Gartland makes the play, and McCarty will retreat to first base.
Boy, nice tag by Gallagher that time in his first at bat.
Gordon will step in. He is 0 for 1 on the evening. Struck out back in the third inning.
Tell you what, with his speed and Alloway's moving in a little bit. That's pretty good, because I would think about dropping one down the way Gordon. Oh, there he goes.
And he goes towards first base, sharply down to first, and because of the lack of rain, that rolls quickly down to Robinson, who retires Gordon. But
right on cue. I guess they were thinking the way I was, which is a little scary, by the way. This will be Macaluso's first at bat.
This is John Macaluso, his brother Tom on deck.
By the way, lost in all the craziness of this game, the unearned runs, the inside the park homer and all, Eliason's been throwing a very, very good game here.
Absolutely, not surprisingly.
And this is going to bode very well for Brooklawn's postseason aspirations. The key in Legion ball is not so much having a good 1 and 2 as in high school we talked about. That could get you through a lot. The key in Legion is your 3, your 4, and even your 5. In these games, you're going to need them.
And that's what I like about it. I mean, it's a better test of your depth. And that goes back to National League versus American League. The depth of your bench is critical in the National League, not so much in the American League. Grounded weakly back to Elias, and he'll throw over to first base to end the inning. We are through 5 here at Williamstown High School, and Brooklawn on top of Williamstown in American Legion baseball action. 6-1. Welcome back, Williamstown High School, American Legion baseball action. Rob Christ, along with Marc Narducci, we head to the top of the 6th inning. Spingler, Bruno, and Robinson, if that sounds familiar, they led off the 5th. Brooklawn batted around and scored their runs initially without the benefit of a hit. All of their runs unearned during that 5th inning. New pitcher on the hill will be Porter, who had been playing right field. And, you know, again, you mentioned Brandon Porter coming into pitch, but this is pitching by committee. Williamstown looking ahead to try to finish strong and hopefully capture that number 4 seed.
Tell you what, though, it's a big if. You wipe away that error on that pop fly by Alloway, and it's a 1-1 game, and Williamstown's still very much in this.
Fastball misses high. Spingler has singled, doubled, and grounded back to the pitcher.
Porter's another one. Williamstown had a very good sophomore class. He's going to be a junior at Williamstown, and another one of the talented young players there. Coach Jim Ambrosius.
In the dirt. Well, you know, we talked about the varying issues facing the powers that be in Major League Baseball. And the other night we had the All-Star game. Did you watch the entire game, Mark?
I fell asleep at about the 14th inning, Rob.
It's later than you usually do.
Couldn't hang in there.
Popped into shallow right field, and it will be Barr who takes. So Spengler flies out to right, one down. Of course, one of the issues was if it ends up tied, then what? Because that determines who is the home team in the World Series.
Well, it wasn't going to end up tied.
Well, they were saying that, you know, what was going to happen because they didn't know whether or not the field players would agree to pitch in that game or not because they had essentially run out of pitching. And so there was, I mean, again, the Players Union in Major League Baseball, I have to tell you, is probably the most powerful union in sports, maybe in the country. So I'm not sure that that was a given, Mark.
Well, J.D. Drew had volunteered to pitch for the AL, and David Wright was licking his chops to pitch for the NL. So, I mean, Bud Selig made the comment that game was going to be played if they had to keep going till 5 in the morning.
Lined into left field, Bruno with the good speed around second base, and he'll pull up with a stand-up double.
Bruno's been on base 4 times. That's his first hit, but again, you saw that quick bat speed by him.
So, first of all, do you like the idea of that determining the home field in the World Series?
Why not?
Okay.
Why not? Why not? Give it a little bit of spice. You know, there are so many people. The problem with baseball for so many years was they stayed for so many long-standing traditions just because they were traditions. How many people, Rob, said, oh, this is terrible to have the wild card? The wild card has been the best thing that Major League Baseball's ever done. It's gotten more teams involved in it. It's made the whole season more interesting. And yet there were a lot of people that said this would be the ruination of the game.
Robinson swings through the fastball. Well, you know, obviously there's a lot of purists that would still disagree with you, the idea that the wild card is not added anything to the game except the likelihood of teams playing into late October when baseball shouldn't be played. But of course, from a ticket selling standpoint, it's been fantastic, and that's why Major League Baseball loves it.
And I think interleague play's been great. I mean, you know, I'm not willing to stand by all these old traditions. And the wild card, the only thing I'll say about the wild card is I think the wild card team doesn't get penalized enough for being a wild card team. Like, I don't think they should have as many home games as they get. Oh, there you look at that. Almost jammed him that time.
Big hop for Lang. And Bruno over to third base, so 2 outs for Umba, who is 0 for 3 on the day.
It's the only baseball is the only All-Star game that actually means something. And
when you say means something, the outcome determines something?
The outcome determines something. I think the players are more into it than in the other games.
Well, it certainly mirrors more of the game itself. Football, of course, is played after the year is up, and many players sit out due to injury or whatever else. And of course, basketball and hockey, defense is merely a rumor. So
basketball has become, and hockey to an extent, a big show. It's the whole show around the game. The baseball, the game is still the game.
Ball gets away from Gallagher, and Bruno in easily. Again, you see the speed of Bruno, and not even a play at home. It's now 7-1.
Bruno is now, this summer, Rob, scored 51 runs. And that's before they start playing almost every day in the postseason.
There's a lot to like about it.
51 runs.
Humba aboard via the walk. And Frias will step in. He has grounded out, struck out, walked, and scored. Gallagher will go out and try to calm his pitcher down. On the campus of Williamstown High School, one of the newer high schools in terms of its construction, Mark. They've done a magnificent job on the interior, and
Absolutely.
it's a very nice campus.
That's you, Johnny Mac.
Of course, we've spoken before about this, but again, having Brooklawn here, Gloucester Catholic feeds this Brooklawn program, with quite a few of its players being Gloucester Catholic products, and that's a school that will have the newest campus very, very soon.
I'll tell you, a school that has been instrumental in Brooklawn's success over the years has been Audubon. We talked about the Laxtons.
Lined into right field, coming on. It's Barr. He'll have it drop in front of him. And runners now on first and second base as Brooklawn continues to put the pressure on.
Brooklawn also had Vaughn and Nate Schill from Audubon. Nate played on that second national championship team in 2001. Danny Severino from Audubon. So there have been just a lot of great John Oler, a lot of great Audubon players. And as an aside, Steve Bruno lives in Audubon, attending Gloucester Catholic. But over the years, Audubon has had a significant contribution to the great success here at Brooklawn.
Alloway into right field, and Barr will make the catch. One run on 2 hits. 2 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Brooklawn on top. 7-1.
Tell you one thing I don't like, Rob, is this new format in the State American Legion tournament where you have to win the district. As there's a look at Joe Barth and his wife, Mrs. Barth, Helen. Joe has only been doing this for 57 years. This is his 57th season.
How old were you when he started coaching?
Now that is really tough.
Wait, I may have a calculator in my bag.
But what he's meant to, not only the Brooklawn organization, what he's meant to South Jersey, because he used to be a scout for the Phillies. And even before that, he used to recommend players to colleges that weren't his players. He saw everybody, knew who everybody was, and the contributions he has made to baseball in this area are just numerous.
It'll be fun to see the postseason and how each of these teams fare.
Oh, anyway, what I was saying, I do not like the way the district setup is. You have to win it to go. I used to like having the 4 districts, the top 2 teams go in. Now there are obviously more teams competing now in the district, 64 compared to 32. But I liked it the other way.
Eliason still on the hill and misses 1-0. It'll face the top of the order, Macaluso, Barr, and Porter. I'm sorry, Mark.
Rob, it's interesting. You have to win the district this year to go to the state, but you don't have to win the state to go to the region. The second place team also goes to a regional in the state of New Jersey.
This is outside, 3-1.
One thing you have to wonder is how long Eliason's going to go tonight. I mean, we said with the 11 innings coming in here, working his way back. as we said before, if you're a fan of Brooklawn, you have to be very, very encouraged by his performance here tonight.
And Macaluso swings through the 3-2 offering, one down, and Barr will step in for his first plate appearance of the evening. He's in the order for Stolo. Stolo had the inside the park home run back in the 4th.
Again, this is Matt Barr at the plate. Matt will be he'll be a senior at Williamstown. Again, another player that's going to be there with the Braves as they defend their Trico Royal title. As we said, he cannot pitch. He's had an injury, but he's still able to bat and play the field. He has a torn labrum, Rob.
Missing outside. It's beat foul. Count holds for Barr. On deck, it's Porter. Mentioned Williamstown fighting for that 4th playoff spot. And Barr lines it into left field for a base hit. A 1-out single will bring up Brandon Porter. Gibbsboro, who Williamstown is tied with, playing West Deptford tonight. They have a doubleheader still with Pennsauken,
which in essence is basically Bishop Eustace to the Pennsauken team.
Now, in past years, Bishop Eustace did not allow their graduating seniors to play, so it's a very young team. And that's why they typically didn't fare as well during the Legion season.
Tell you what, they certainly do okay during the high school season. Sam Tropiano, who actually runs both programs, an outstanding job.
Blaine Neal made his appearance last night in the AAA All-Star game.
How about Blaine Neal getting picked for the Olympic team?
Yeah.
You know, I went out and saw Blaine Neal about a month ago. I had an off night that was covering the Sixers, and I drove to Toledo and had a nice meeting with Blaine. Great to see. He's had a lights-out year for Toledo. He's their closer in AAA, and
I believe 23 of 25, if I'm not mistaken.
You wonder, with all the problems the Tigers have had in the bullpen, why he hasn't gotten a call up.
Well, the Tigers let go of one of the better pitchers because of some of their arms being injured, starting to come back. Grounded into right field. It's now 1st and 3rd, and now hung up is Porter. Porter, as Frias drops the baseball, Barr gets back. So Porter, with a big running gaff, works his way out of trouble. Runners on 2nd and 3rd now, and Williamstown with late life. Jake Springle will step in. He has doubled and lined out. He's looked good at the plate thus far tonight. And some activity in the Brooklawn bullpen. Eliason has gone the distance. Curveball for a strike to start Springle. On deck, Lang.
I'll be honest, I'd be surprised if this is not his last inning. I would think this will be his last inning.
He's gone further than I had anticipated. And he's done a nice job. quickly ahead 0-2 to Sprengel.
Somewhere hard, big. Work the middle.
Sprengel wastes that pitch. Low and away. Count holds at 0-2.
You know, it was the hardest thing to believe when I met with Blaine Neal. He's 30 years old. Says, has it been that long since you were at Bishop Eustace? Remember his senior year, Rob? He got drafted in the 4th round by the Florida Marlins, but he only pitched about 22 innings. He was coming off some, I think it was some elbow problems. Didn't pitch a whole lot, and when he did, there were so many radar guns watching him.
All right. Yo, good. Anything close, babe. Doing the right thing now. Let's go.
Of course, the top arm, arguably this year, Quentin Miller, yet to sign with the Pirates. Does have a scholarship to the University of North Carolina. Which misses high.
Well, he was taken in the 20th round, and everyone seems to think it was a signability thing, that he was one of those players that if he didn't go in the first couple rounds, he wasn't going to go high.
We saw that with Doolittle from Shawnee. Drafted originally by the Braves.
Keep working, babe.
Hey, and speaking of the Braves, a guy I think he was there when Doolittle was playing. J.J. Piccolo was just named, I guess it was what, the assistant general manager at Kansas City, the Cherry Hill West graduate. Was a catcher on those Cherry Hill West teams, the first of those teams that had 4 consecutive state titles under Tom Trotman.
Called strike 3, so Sprengel, the second strikeout victim of the inning.
So it's always good to see a South Jersey guy like JJ and a good person succeed.
And manager Trey Hillman, a great individual as well. It'll be interesting to see how he does at the city. Hillman won a championship in Japan with the Nippon Ham Fighters. I was in the Yankees organization. He was our third base coach and had quite a bit of success. And interviewed for a number of organizations as a manager before heading to Japan, and then ended up with Kansas City.
It's a long road to take.
You know, the first thing he said that he would change when he was talking about interviewing for the major league positions is infield practice. He said, you know, they don't take infield practice. That's something that is really stressed in Japan, and they do it on the lower levels in America. Why not at the major league level? Before the game, you see him just typically kind of shagging balls, but not an organized infield. And of course, in Japan, the work ethic is akin to what we talked about at Brooklawn here, where they're practicing every day. Brooklawn does that, but in Japan, practice typically like a work day. Sometimes in excess of 8 hours. And
you have to do a fine line, though, between burning people out and training them.
Well, in the international games, Japan did quite well. And certainly with less talent than the Americas did. When I say the Americas, of course, I mean all of North America. Lang behind in the count. He has grounded out and popped out. Scorched into left field. That's down for a base hit. And they'll hold the runner at third base as the ball gets through. Lang alertly over to second base. but he's thrown out. It looked like he had enough there, but he's thrown out. And the alert play actually from Eliason. So credit Lang with a base hit and thrown out, advancing to second base. Brooklawn out of a bit of a jam. Not before Williamstown scores. We're through 6 at 7-2. Welcome back to Williamstown High School. Brooklawn on top of Williamstown 7-2. Take a look at some of the parachuting that goes on locally. We got a Cross Keys airport, if I'm not mistaken. Have you ever done that, Mark?
I have not, Rob. And I'll probably keep that streak intact.
Yeah. I was invited years ago to a bachelor party where that was the first activity.
I'd hate to see the second and third.
Well, it got a little more tame after that. And
oh my gosh.
I took a pass on the first activity. Not so much that I was because of the fear element, and not to say that I wasn't fearful of it, because I certainly was, but it was somewhat expensive given the rest of the day. So I think it's something that I wouldn't mind doing before it's all said and done. But you know, it's something that it's one of those things that I think everybody has the inherent fear of heights. New pitcher on the hill is McCarty for Williamstown. Bill Donovan will be his first hitter, followed by Core and Gartland.
So we mentioned his father, the manager of this team, and is in Texas on a business trip, so Chris Apostle's taken over for Williamstown.
Skied to center field, and Gordon underneath it.
McCarty, again, is another one from that fine junior class. It's one of those classes, he'll be a junior coming up, that, you know, they won a lot in Little League, and they've played together and moved up together and won together.
There's a lot to be said for that. Not just the playing together, but the winning together. The expectation of winning when you go out and take the field. And that's certainly the case with Brooklawn. I know when I spoke with a couple of coaches of Gloucester Catholic in the preseason, they weren't particularly pleased with the way the season was going, and they felt that, you know, some of the players really felt that they were going to win merely because they were Brooklawn. And that's certainly, or excuse me, Gloucester Catholic, and that certainly, you know, will produce maybe some fear on the part of your opponent, but you still have to execute when it comes game time. And there has to be an element of work ethic, and we mentioned before, Gloucester Catholic certainly changed their season quickly, and this Brooklawn team has continued the tradition that Brooklawn has enjoyed so many years. By the way, we were talking before about the Japanese routine of having 8-hour practices. By no means was I lobbying for 8-hour practices at the high school level or,
I'll tell you,
at the professional level.
The youngsters at Eastern High School were cringing when they thought that maybe you were.
Well, we do have lights. Deep left field, going back. This ball is gone. Nick Core, now with the home run, is just a triple away from the cycle. Solo shot here in the top of the 7th inning extends the Brooklawn lead.
You know what's interesting? That's the first home run of the summer for Core. The number 9 batter, the number 8 batter, Donovan, came into the game with, we're going to look at it again, with 7 RBIs, and he got 2 tonight. So bottom of the order, really doing the job. And by the way, that's Sean Wheel, the new left fielder, watching that one go by too. For Williamstown.
Swung on and missed.
Tell you, this was a much more competitive game for a long time until those unearned runs. 500 runs in the 5th inning.
Missing low. Gartland has walked and stolen a base, grounded out, popped out, and grounded out.
You know, you look at this Brooklawn team and you say, you can't really say, well, are they as good as other Brooklawn teams? You can't compare it that way. What you say is, can they win the state tournament this year in the setting that it's in? And the answer is yes, but you could also say the same thing about Haddon Heights. I mean, I don't think Cherry Hill's going to lie down. How about this Williamstown team with a big win over Cherry Hill last night, too?
Grounding out to second base is Gartland, so 2 outs now for Spingler.
So I guess what I'm getting to is there's still a lot of unknown as we start and we get into the district tournament next weekend. There's no question this Brooklawn team's capable of winning the district and advancing as one of the 8 teams in the state, and then doing some damage there, but there's just so much baseball to be played. And of course they go to 9-inning games after this, after the regular season. A pretty nice looking curveball there from McCarty.
On deck is Bruno, who has been a Williamstown wrecker in the dirt. Bruno has been hit by a pitch twice, walked and doubled. He's also scored a pair of runs.
Well, you could say Bruno's been an American Legion wrecker. He's wrecked just about everybody.
And next year he'll probably be a Scholastic wrecker. I don't see that trend changing. It's a very impressive Brooklawn lineup. Very sound fundamentally. Certainly very talented. Grounded over to third base. Macaluso gets the big hop and throws over to retire Spingler, but not before Brooklawn adds a run on the core solo shot. Williamstown with their last chance here. It'll be McCarty to lead things off.
The key is whether, I don't think Eliason will come out. Do you for this inning?
No. I'm thinking it's going to be probably Diego Melendez.
Now, for those that are not, for those who see what they see on the screen, Rob is looking right on the mound as Melendez comes to the mound.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about Melendez's year, Mark?
Melendez is one of these players from Pennsauken High School. And again, he's 3-0 with a 2.90 ERA, Rob. So he's pitched 19 1/3 innings. So again, he's one of these arms that's going to come in and be a very, very vital performer coming up in the districts, and what Brooklawn hopes is in the states.
One other change: Cisco Rodriguez has moved over to third base for Brooklawn.
Well, nice job by Mike Eliason. I mean, Brooklawn was looking for to stretch his arm out a little bit, get him some work. He battled very well through six innings here tonight. Rob, we're not even into the postseason, and Brooklawn's already had 5 players pitch in 5 or more games. And obviously the rotation is going to have to be extended even more.
And again, what's impressive about that, Mark, is their record. They continue to win no matter who they trot out on the hill, which speaks to their depth.
This is Melendez's 7th game.
He's got a little pop on his fastball. McCarty has struck out and walked. Eliason again, fine job on the hill. Fastball misses high.
All right, Phil. You hit a kid. Go for it, Phil. Hey, leave it low.
McCarty behind, 1-2 here to start things in the 7th. Gallagher on deck. Called strike 3. 1 up and 1 down. Gallagher will step in.
Hey, we got one out, whoa!
Fastball for a strike. Quickly ahead of Gallagher, 0-1.
You know, it's interesting. Brooklawn only has 2 pitching saves this year. 24-2 in the season. Now, what that tells you is they've probably been in the lead a lot of games. That one's hit.
Ball well struck into right field, and that ball is out of here. Gallagher driving it into deep right field. And Williamstown continues to show some late life. Jacob Gallagher with the blast.
How about Gallagher? His first time up, he came into the game, he hit a ball to deep center field, and now the home run.
And again, one of the many talented athletes on this Williamstown roster, Ron Gordon, will step in. He has struck out and tried to reach on a bunt. He was retired by the first baseman, Robinson.
This has been a big summer for Gordon, getting these at-bats, because he's got a lot of skill. They're looking for him, obviously, to be a little more consistent at the plate.
Grounded to the shortstop, Bruno. Off the back foot, long throw, not in time. Robinson ruled off of the base. Good play by Bruno. Credit Gordon with an infield single.
Well, you could tell Gordon's a running back, can't you? The way he got down the line that time. A lot of players, that would have been almost a routine out, but Gordon, with that great speed, beat it out. He's only going to be a junior this year, too. It'll be interesting to see if Gordon tries to steal a base.
Fastball for a strike. Well,
when you're down all these runs, the conventional wisdom is if you try it, you better make it.
well, my wisdom would say you better not try it. Not only are you behind by 4 runs, but Bill Donovan is one of the best receivers in South Jersey. He may be the best. I was very impressed when I saw him earlier in the year.
Well, in that line of thinking, Gordon has not looked at all as if he's wanting to steal a base. He's not getting an exceptional lead over there.
Hey, good punch,
Fastball fouled away by Macaluso. Luso count holds, or excuse me, goes to 2-2 with 1 out here. As nightfall starts to set in, we're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Macaluso continues the battle at the plate. See the umpire, John Agello, He's done a fine job behind the plate tonight. Again, my estimation, one of the best in South Jersey.
Go, John. Go, John.
And Agello chases. So 2 strikeouts here. And Diego Melendez
Go, Will.
now will face Weigel.
Sean will be a senior coming up at Williamstown High School. That was a pretty nasty hook by Melendez, wasn't it?
Looked like it may have been a slider. Again, this angle's kind of tough to read everything, but just another cog in the machine they call Brooklawn. Fastball for a strike. To Wheel.
Go, Will. Tough hitter up there, one side. What do you say, kid?
Yeah, Eliason allowed just 4 hits to a pretty good hitting Williamstown team.
Wheel grounds it through the hole. And on to third base is Gordon. Runners on the corners. Williamstown continuing to put the pressure on this Brooklawn team. And Barr will step in.
By the way, Cisco Rodriguez at third base for Brooklawn, as you did mention earlier.
Placing Nick Galloway.
Well, you saw that time how Gordon went from first to third pretty well there.
Go, Mark.
First pitch, a strike to Barr. He singled and scored his last plate appearance. That was in the 6th. Ball hit deep into center field. Gartland back and makes the catch up against the wall. So Barr gave it a ride, but that'll do it as Brooklawn extends their undefeated season here in Camden County American Legion play with an impressive win over Williamstown. Equally impressive was this Williamstown team who battled till the end.
Rob, we mentioned it that if Macaluso gets the pop-up, the inning's over. They're not the 5 unearned runs. It could be a different ball game, but the key is Brooklawn knows how to win these games, and if you give a team like that the advantages, they're going to take advantage of it.
Well, again, Brooklawn, very, very talented and very fundamentally sound in every facet of the game.
Yeah, and you know, I give Williamstown a lot of credit too, as we mentioned, just taking people from one high school. It probably looks like with who Gibbsboro has to play, it looks like Williamstown may be in that 5 through 8 single elimination playoff. We'll see. They still have that doubleheader with Gloucester Township, but it's going to be tough, but it's still attainable for them to get to the tournament.
Well, once again, there's your final score. Brooklawn victorious over Williamstown 8-3. Brooklawn well on its way to continuing the tradition. As you mentioned, Mark, Williamstown also certainly with an opportunity in the postseason. For my partner, Marc Narducci, my director, Stan Ritter, and all the crew, I'm Rob Christ. Thanks for joining us. Your final, once again, Brooklawn over Williamstown, 8-3 in American Legion baseball action. Good night, everybody.